Good morning, children. Welcome back to part 4 class, that is reproduction in organisms. Last class we have discussed about different stages in the cycle of living organisms. What are the different stages? First one is juvenile phase, second one reproductive phase, the third one senescent phase. First, what is juvenile phase? It is a period of growth of an organism before they can reproduce sexually. It is also called vegetative phase in plants. Then reproductive phase, that is the period of growth of an organism after the juvenile phase, during which the organism undergoes morphological and physiological changes to attain sexual maturity and is capable of producing gametes. Then the third stage is senescent phase or old age. That is the end of reproductive phase of an organism. Next, we discussed about how we can find out the reproductive phase in the plants. That is the beginning of the reproductive phase. We can easily identify in the higher plants when they come to flower. Then in animals, we can find out after the followed by the morphological and physiological changes prior to and active reproductive behavior. The reproductive phase is also of variable duration in different organisms. Some of them are seasonal, some of them are continuous, some of them lays the eggs, some of them are giving birth to the young ones. So we gave the different cycles we saw there. First one it is, we'll discuss about the reproductive phase, that menstrual cycle. What are the menstrual cycle? The cyclical changes in the activities of the ovaries and accessory ducts as well as hormones during the reproductive phase of the which type of mammals? Primate mammals is called menstrual cycle. Then another one more cycle we studied, that is the ostrich cycle. What is that one? The cyclical changes in the activities of ovaries and accessory ducts as well as hormones during the reproductive phase of non-primate mammals is called ostrich cycle. Now we'll see that one. What are the examples of menstrual cycle? 3 examples are there: monkeys, apes and human beings. In the ostrich cycle, the examples: cows, sheep, rat, deers, dogs, tigers, etc. Then we saw that one, the different events in the sexual reproduction. Events means what is happening in the sexual reproduction. That is grouped into 3 stages: pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. Now first one we'll discuss pre-fertilization events. In the pre-fertilization events, there are 2 main events are there. What are they? Yesterday we discussed what are they? Gametogenesis and gamete transfer. So yesterday's class we discussed about some of the gametogenesis. So what is gametogenesis? That is the process of formation of the haploid male and female gametes. Okay, haploid male and female gametes formation is called gametogenesis. So then we discussed about the 2 types of the gametes. The morphologically similar in appearance gametes are called homogametes or isogametes. Example, cladophora. Then the heterogametes, morphologically different or the dissimilar in structure of the male and female gametes is called heterogametes. The male gamete is called ANTHEROZOID in the plants or in the sperm in the animals. The female gamete is called egg in the plants, ovum in the animals. Today we are going to discuss about sexuality in the organisms. Sexual reproduction in the organisms means it involves the fusion of the male and female gametes from a single individual or from a different individual. So we'll see that one, which type of that organism or the plants. First we'll take the plant. Plants have both male and female reproductive structures in the same plant. Listen, male and female gametes or the structure, reproductive structures in the same plant. It is called bisexual plant, or it may be in the different plants. Male plant is different, female plant is different, that it is called a unisexual plant. Listen, the male and female reproductive structures are present in the same plant. It is called bisexual plant, or it is in the different plant. It is called unisexual male plant or unisexual female plants. Some of the plants or most of the plants or fungus, we can call them homothalic. Homo means same. They are present, male and female reproductive structure is present in the same thallus. Thallus, what is the meaning? In that plant body. Homothallus, male and female is present in the same thallus structure or bisexual condition, or what is that? Another one word is monoecious. Monoecious means mono means one. What is in one structure? Male and female reproductive structure is present in the same plant. So it is called bisexual condition, homothallus condition, or monoecious condition. Same like that in the different plants. The different plants means male plant and the female plants, they are called the unisexual male plant or the unisexual female plants. Now we'll see that one. In flowering plants, the unisexual male flower is called staminate. So staminate means we should see that one. Last year we studied about the different parts of the flower. In that we see that when the stamens are present. Stamens are the male reproductive structure. So from there we are calling it as a unisexual male flower. Then because the stamens are present in that one, then we should see the female plants. Female plants, the female reproductive structure is called carpel or pistil. So now we can call unisexual female plant is called pistillate. Pistillate, pistil is present or it is bearing the pistils. See the one mark questions. The unisexual male flower is called staminate and the unisexual female plant is called pistillate. Some flowering plants, both male and female flowers may be present on the same individual, monoecious, or another name bisexual or homothallus, or on separate individuals, dioecious, or they are the different conditions. Some examples of monoecious plants are cucurbit and coconut plant, and some of the dioecious plants are the papaya plant and the date palm. Papaya plant have the male plant is different, female plant is different. Same like that, date palm also, male plant is different and the female plant is. Now we will discuss about the animals. Any individual animal possesses male or female reproductive structure or different organisms, different structures are there. We'll discuss about that one. See that one. Some of the organisms possess only the male structure and some of the organisms possess only the female reproductive structure, and some of the organisms possess male and female reproductive structure in the same organisms. Okay, it may be unisexual or it may be bisexual. First, we'll discuss about the unisexual animal species. It is the male species or the female species. Unisexual male or female. Now, next we'll discuss about the bisexual animal. That means male and the reproductive structure and the female reproductive structure is present in the same organism. That is called, in the animals it is called, male and female reproductive structure possess in the same organism. It is called hermaphrodites. It's a 2-mark question. Hermaphrodites. Male and female reproductive structure is possessed in the same organism. Hermaphrodites. Examples are earthworms, tapeworms, sponges, leech, etc. See that one. In the male and the female structure, reproductive structure possessed in the same animal is called hermaphrodite. Can I give some examples of the unisexual species? That is the human beings. Male and female is different. Cockroach, male cockroach is different. Female cockroach is different. Next, we will discuss one question. Why coconut plant is called monoecious? What is the answer? Coconut plant contains the staminate and pistillate flowers in the same plant. So it is called monoecious. Next one question. Why papaya plant is called dioecious? What is the answer? In papaya plant, staminate or pistillate flowers are present in the different plant. Next, we will discuss about some of the bisexual hermaphrodite animal and the unisexual examples. Bisexual or the hermaphrodite animal, earthworm. Earthworm contains the male and female reproductive structure in the same organism. Unisexual. One example, cockroach. Male cockroach is different, female cockroach is different. Same like that, monoecious plant. What is the meaning of monoecious plant? Male and female structure is present, reproductive structure is present in the same plant. One textbook example, that is called, the plant name is called Cara plant, Chara. And the female sex organ is called oogonium and the male sex organ is called antheridium, only in this plant. Then one more example is there, the dioecious plant. What is the meaning of dioecious plant? Male and female plants are different. That it is a Markantia plant. Last year you have studied Markantia plant. It is a thallus structure. It contains Markantia. Male thallus is called anthridiophore and the female thallus is called archigoniophore. Anthridiophore and the archigoniophore. Next, we will discuss about the type of cell division differs during gamete formation. The haploid parents produce haploid gametes by mitosis. Examples, algae. The haploid parent, so their thallus are present most of the cases. So they are producing the mitosis. Through the mitosis, haploid gametes are producing. Second, it is all plant members have the haploid gametophyte, male and female structures. They are the haploid structure and thus produce the haploid gametes by the mitosis process. Example, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. But in the diploid parents, in the diploid organisms, they are producing the haploid gametes. Gametes are always, they are the haploid numbers. It is producing, the process is called meiosis. Example, animals including the human beings. Next, the diploid organisms have specialized diploid gamete producing cells are called the mother cells. It is called meiocytes or gamete mother cells which undergo meiosis to produce haploid gametes. Meiocytes or the gamete mother cells are producing the haploid gametes which undergoes the meiosis. One example, human beings chromosome number in the meiocyte or the gamete mother cells is the 46. The gamete chromosome number, male gamete 23 and the female gamete 23. Together it is 46. Some of the examples are there in the textbook. We'll discuss later. Next, we are going to discuss about the second process in the pre-fertilization event, that is the gamete transfer. Pre-fertilization events, we discussed, there are two types are there in that included. First one, it is the gametogenesis, it is over. Now next we'll discuss about the gamete transfer. First we'll see that one. In majority of the organisms, male gamete is motile and the female gamete is stationary. But in some fungi and algae, both are male and females are motile. In algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, the gamete transfer takes place through the water. In majority of the organisms, water is the medium for their movement. Now next, a large number of the male gametes are producing. Why? Because they are failed to reach the female gametes. To compensate this loss of male gametes during transport, the number of male gametes produced is several thousand times the number of the female gametes are produced. See, listen, more than thousands of male gametes are producing, but the female gametes are producing very less. Males are motile, females are most of the cases, they are the stationary. In seed producing plants, pollen grains carry the male gametes and ovules carry the egg cell. In the dioecious animals have evolved some mechanisms and the structures to transfer gametes for successful sexual reproduction. See that one, the sexual reproduction. Then the second event is the fertilization. First it is pre-fertilization, second is fertilization, third point it is the post-fertilization. Now we are going to discuss about the fertilization. It is the most vital event of sexual reproduction is the fertilization. Now we will discuss what is fertilization. Fertilization is the process of fusion of haploid male gamete with the haploid female gamete to produce a diploid zygote. It is also called syngamy. Syn means S-Y-N. Syn means the fusion. Gamy means the gametes. Syngamy means the fusion of the gametes. What would happen if the syngamy or the fertilization does not occur? See, listen, if it does not occur, what will happen in the organisms? See that some organisms like rotifers honeybees, and even some lizards and birds like turkey, the female gamete undergoes development to form new organisms without fertilization, unfertilized without fertilization. This phenomenon is called parthenogenesis. This is a 2-mark question, and part is parthenogenesis and the examples it is very important. Next we'll discuss where does the syngamy occur. There are 2 types of fertilization. That is first one, the external fertilization and the internal fertilization. It is depend on the medium. External fertilization means the syngamy occurs outside the body of the parents in water medium. Example, algae, fish, amphibians. Second, it is the internal fertilization. The syngamy occurs inside the body of the female in body fluid. Example, fungi, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, cartilaginous fish, reptiles, birds and mammals. In animals, the motile male gametes reach the egg in accessory reproductive structures. In flowering plants, the non-motile male gametes are carried to the egg cell through the pollen tube. Next, we'll discuss about the differences between external fertilization and internal fertilization. First point, external fertilization. The fertilization occurs outside the body of the parent in the water medium. Internal fertilization, it occurs inside the body of the female. Second point, the chances of fertilization are very less because the male gametes, large number it is producing, reaching to the correct position, chances are very less for the fertilization. But in the internal fertilization, compared to that, the external, here it is the chances of fertilization are more. The third point, more number of male and female gametes are producing in the external fertilization. Internal fertilization, male gametes are more in number but less number the female gametes are formed. Fourth point is important, offsprings are vulnerable to the predators. They are afraid of that from the prey organisms. Offsprings are highly protected in the internal fertilization. Examples for the external fertilization, bony fish, frogs and algae. Internal fertilization, examples, members of plant, reptiles, birds and mammals.